you for checking out the video. It's our hope that you don't just watch and listen to this, but that you also actively participate by learning and performing the dance. The video is broken up into two parts. In the first part, you're going to do a little bit of history, and then you're going to learn all the basic dance moves. In the second part, you're going to watch a short, brief demonstration of the drums that you'll actually be hearing, and then you get to do the dance itself. Just a few things before we get going. Number one, we'd advise that you listen with a large enough speaker so that you can dance and still hear the drum calls. When you dance, you make a lot of noise, more than you might think, and that you're watching on a screen big enough that you can clearly see the dances. Two, wear comfortable clothes. You're going to be moving around, you're going to be sweating, and make sure that you have plenty of space. You don't want to be kicking family members or furniture. And three, if there's any dance moves or movements that are uncomfortable, modify them so that they work for you. It's really important that you just have as much fun as possible. We hope that you'll participate, and like I said, have a great time. Thank you again for watching. We really appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie Shinbara, and on drums we have Scott Shinbara. And today we are going to play and dance Kpatsa for you. Kpatsa is a dance from Ghana in West Africa, and it's danced by the Ga-Dangbe people. And I was fortunate enough to learn this dance firsthand from Bernard Woma at his Dagara Music and Arts Center. So we're really excited to share this with you today. The story behind Kpatsa is that there was a group of hunters going into the forest to do hunting, and instead of finding the animals that they were looking for, they found a group of dwarves. In Ghana, dwarves are kind of like our fairies, so like very small and kind of mythical creatures. And dwarves in Ghana have one leg that's longer than the other, so they have uneven legs. So the dwarves are doing this dance, and the hunters really like the dance, so they watch it and they learn it and they bring it back to their village, and now the village has this new social dance. One of the things that we're going to see is some of the movements are reflecting things that come from everyday life. So some of these examples I'm going to share with you aren't necessarily from Kpatsa, but in other West African dances you will find these things. So one example could be daily jobs. So washing clothes, or pulling in fishing nets, or hunting, or like planting seeds. So daily jobs. Another thing that could be found in dance moves are animals. So birds, horses, animals that you might find in West Africa. And the one specific to this dance is one of our movements is going to mimic the dwarves. So remember, the dwarves have uneven legs, and so in our dance we actually have a move where you kind of change elevation a little bit, and there's a little bit of like a wobble. So that is reflecting those dwarves in the story. Some of the other things that we're going to see are dance characteristics to West African dance. And one of those things is going to be body isolations, and that's where you're moving just one specific part of your body while the rest of your body is relatively still. So one of the big movements we're going to do for Kpatsa is moving our sternum, our rib cage forward and back. And you're not necessarily like throwing your shoulders and your arm, but it's a more subtle, just that one body part moving. And the second thing that we're going to see a lot in this dance that's pretty common in West African dance is bending the knees, getting low to the ground, staying rooted into the ground. So one of the things when you're dancing, you might notice that it's a little awkward, or you're having trouble moving, or you're having trouble with the body isolations, and it probably means that you've gotten straight-legged. So get low, root yourself back into the ground. It's actually going to help make some of those dance moves easier. Another big characteristic of West African music is the call and response. Oftentimes we see call and response in singing. So you have a main singer who gives the call, and then you have a group of other singers who respond. We also see it in the drumming and dancing. And specifically in this dance, we're going to hear a certain drum call, and then we're going to respond with a certain dance move each time. There is a lot of communication that happens between the drummers and the dancers. So as I mentioned before, hearing a call from the drum usually signifies that it's time to change dance moves. So the dancers are always listening for that drum call, and then they know it's time to move on to the next move. The other way that drummers and dancers communicate is the drummer might watch the dancer and play something that is mimicking their movement. So they're playing a rhythm or a pattern that kind of matches the move that the dancer is doing. So that's a little bit of background about Kpatsa, a little bit of West African music, and we're going to show you how to dance Kpatsa, and then we'll do a final version, and hopefully you will all dance along with us. All right, so let's learn the dance moves to Kpatsa. So this is the abbreviated version of the dance. The real social dance that would be danced in Ghana has more moves. Some of the movements get repeated more than once. So this is just the shortened down version just for you. So the first thing that I talked about earlier was the call and response. So the call is going to be from the drum, and we're going to respond with a certain dance movement each time. And it kind of looks like you're running. It's kind of like sometimes I call it the running man. So you're going to hear the drum play daga 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 daga. So it's just going to be straight notes. Daga 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 daga. And we're going to respond by doing daga 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 bum bum ba da bum. So what that was is it doesn't really matter which foot you start with, but I start with my right foot, and as my right foot goes down, my left hand comes up. As my left foot goes down, my right hand goes up. So whatever foot you choose to do it, just do the opposite hand, otherwise it's like awkward. So daga 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 bum bum ba da bum. So you're doing run, run, freeze. So remember, keep your knees bent, stay nice and low. Again, daga 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 dun dun da da da. So that is the response. Drum call, daga 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 bum bum ba da bum. We're gonna do it a lot. That move is gonna come back a lot. So that is our call and response. We also have another move that is going to come back a lot. This is, I call it the dwarf move, because it's mimicking those dwarves that have uneven legs. And so this movement is going to come in between all the other movements we learn. So we're going to learn 5 moves, and this dwarf move is going to be like the chorus that comes in between each of those other dance moves. So I'm going to talk you through the move, and then I have a practice drum track, so we'll try it slower, and then after we learn all the movements, we'll do the fast version, our grand finale. So the dwarf move. If we just start with our feet, I'm going to do my right foot first. I'm going to go heel, toe, heel, jump. And then we're going to do the same thing on the left side. Heel, toe, heel, jump. So together, that would be left, right. Pretty easy. You got it, right? All right, but then we have to add in our isolations. So, this move is going to include, right, get nice and low, moving your sternum kind of forward and backward. So I usually have my hands out. You can do like a little thumbs up if you want, kind of like this. If you're having trouble doing the isolations, you can just wave your arms around. You'll be fine. It'll look similar. But all together, it would look something like this. So each time I have a foot move, I'm moving my sternum too. So the thing is, we're gonna put these two together. We're gonna do the drum call, the dance response, and then we're gonna go right into, starting with the right foot, with the dwarf move. So here's what it's gonna sound and look like. Listen for the call. Did you catch the call at the end? So anytime you hear daga 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 daga, you have to do your ba 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 da ba, right? So that's going to become an automatic response. Anytime you hear that, you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta do it, right? So that's the thing about the call and response. Awesome. So that is our call response, which is going to happen a lot in this dance, and our dwarf move. So again, that dwarf move is going to come in between all the other moves that we learn. Anytime when we're learning these dance moves, if you want to pause the video to practice a little bit more, or if you want to rewind to review, please do so. This move that we're going to learn is called cat-cow. It wouldn't be called cat-cow in Ghana. I just nickname it that for purposes of teaching. I name it cat-cow because of the yoga pose where you arch your back forward and backwards. And you'll see it in the move. So we're going to hear the drum call. Daga 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 bum bum ba-dum bum. Always respond with that dance move. And we're going to move our sternum 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do the whole thing again, but facing that direction. So, dun dun da da dun. 1, 2, 3. Dun dun da da dun. 1, 2, 3. Dun dun da da dun. 1, 2. Daga 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 dun dun da da dun. And then go back to our dwarf move. You may have noticed with the dwarf move that we have that kind of jump, and that is the dance move that is mimicking that unevenness of the legs of our dwarves. Okay, now we learned the dance move, we're going to put it to music. So this is cat-cow. Remember, we're going to hear the drum call. We're going to do the dance response. And then we're going to do facing forward, sideways, back, and the other way. And with the slow drum track. So, dance along. Okay, so that was our cat-cow move. So remember that in between all of these moves, we're going to do the dwarf move. So the next move we're going to learn is our second one, and I like to call it shake your butt, because what we're going to do is shake your butt. So this kind of is the opportunity to throw in a little bit of your own flair, whatever you want to do. The main move, we're going to hear the drum call, we're going to do the dance response, so daga 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 bum bum ba da bum. I'm going to plant my left foot. I'm going to kind of use my right foot to move me around, and I'm going to shake my butt, wiggle my hips. You can kind of do like a little hand move. So all together, that would kind of look like daga 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 dum bum ba dum bum ba da 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 ba da. And we keep spinning until, guess what? We hear the drum call. So if you want to like do a little like salsa move, if you want to like just, I don't know, put whatever you want to into this move. So let's try it slowly with our practice drum track and see how it goes. All right, nice. So that was our second move, shake your butt. Not actually what it's called in Ghana, but that's what we're gonna call it for these purposes of teaching it to you. Okay, so our third movement that we're gonna learn is the washboard. So this is one of those daily jobs that comes into our dance move. So this is going to be another one where we're going to face forward, sideways, back, and over there. It is another one where it's going to be very helpful to get nice and low. We're washing our clothes on a washboard, so our hands are going to be kind of pushing the laundry on the washboard. I don't think I've ever actually used a washboard, but I can picture what it looks like. And so this is the movement. And your knees are going to, it also helps to kind of be up on your toes a little bit, but you can kind of choose whether you want to put your knees out as you do the washboard, or you can do knees in. I think I usually do knees out, yeah. So we're going to do it in threes, just like the cat-cow, and in the 4 directions. So that will look something like daga 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 bum bum ba da bum. 1, 2, 3. Dun 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 dun. 1, 2, 3. Bum bum ba da bum. 1, 2, 3. Dun 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 dun. 1, 2. Daga 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 dun 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 dun. Cool. Let's try it slowly with the music. Okay, so we did cat-cow, we did shake your butt, we did washboard. So the next 2 moves, we're going to be moving back, and then we're going to move forward. So move 4, we're going to move back, that's what I call it. And then move 5, we're going to shimmy forward, or shimmy up. All right, so the moving back is, we are going to be literally moving back, so make sure you got space. You're not going to run into anything behind you. I'll make sure I move up. What we're going to do is you're going to do that sternum move again. Your hands, kind of like the same hand position that we had for the dwarf move. And we're just going to kind of be doing this. With the feet, you are kind of popping up the ankle. So I do the right ankle, left, right, left. Get your sternum into it. Again, be careful when you're backing up. Don't run into anything. But that would look like, with the drum call and response, daga 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 bum bum ba da bum ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da going to hear daga 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 da da da. Go back to our dwarf move. Until you hear the call again. Then I'm just going to teach you the move forward part before we put it to music. But the forward part, once again, hear the drum call. Daga 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 da 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 da. We are going to just kind of jump to the right, and we're going to do a three, a thing of three again. And you're going to shimmy. So shimmy what you got. So it's going to look like 1, 2, 3. I kind of gallop, I guess. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to try to move back to where we were from before. 1, 2, 3. I'm trying not to hit the microphone. You can jump much further than I can. So again, all together. Daga 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 da da da. Bada 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 bada. Daga 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 da 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 da. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Daga 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 da 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 da. So once we finish, we'll do that with music. But once we finish all of that, we'll do more dwarf, and that's the end of the dance. So the end is near. We're almost there. Let's practice the moving back with the music, and then we're going to practice the shimmy forward with music. So start in your forward position, and this is going to be our moving back. I definitely ran out of space. All right, so now we're back. We would do the dwarf move. And then let's practice our shimmy forward. Okay, so we have practiced all of the moves with a slower tempo. We have learned all of the moves. Again, we have the drum call and dance response. We have the dwarf move, which is going to come back between all of the other moves. We have cat-cow, moving in 4 directions. We got shake your butt, which spins in a circle. We've got the washboard, which is in 4 directions. We have move back, and we have shimmy up. And those are all the dance moves we're gonna learn for this abbreviated version of Kpatsa. have learned all the dance moves and have practiced them with a slower tempo, we're going to do a fast version. This is where you can really let loose and get into the moves. So I hope you enjoy.